Hi, I'm Crystal Hobbs of Reflective Marketing, and we are live for the last episode of 2016 of the Connect and Thrive Show. Today, I'm super excited, as always, to have Victoria Belbin here with me. Victoria is the CEO of the Canadian Homebuilders Association of Newfoundland and Labrador, and I know you have a vast background in leading associations and strategic planning and involved in boards and all of that.
Lots of fun. Yeah.
So why don't you tell us a little bit more about you?
Okay. So I started with the Canadian Homebuilders Association in 2011, so 5.5 years ago. Time has flown by very fast. Prior to that, myself and my family were in Alberta, where I worked with a commission of government. And before that, we were here in Newfoundland, and I worked with the regional economic development boards. There were 20 boards across the province, and they dealt with economic and social strategic planning for those regions, and I headed up the provincial association. So I've got a real mixed bag. My academics are in history and healthcare and fisheries, and I've just kind of been floating around getting to know all kinds of different industries. And I enjoy what I do, and so it's brought me here today.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah, and I thought you'd be the perfect person to come on and talk about specifically, I guess, getting involved in associations and boards.
Yep.
Especially looking to 2017, which is soon upon us.
Days.
And, I think a lot of businesses now are trying to figure out what to do in 2017 and where their strategy should be.
And our economy has gone through such a change in the last little while, especially with our industry. Yeah. They're looking at us to say, what should we be doing? And
Absolutely.
So associations are a great place to start. Absolutely.
Yeah. So I'm excited to dig into all of that. Hello, Amanda. I guess our sound and video is good, so that's great. If anybody is watching live and has a question for Victoria, go ahead and put it in the comments. And if you're here, just go ahead and say hi. We like to know who's watching. All right. So I guess to get started, how do you think industry associations can benefit a small business?
So it's a really good question, because right now the value of membership is being questioned from a small business, from a startup, or if you've been in this business for about 5 years, or even a business that's been around for a while. Why should we join your association? So there's a lot of a variety of reasons, and people might come in for a different variety of reasons.
Sure.
So it might start with the latest industry information. So as an industry association, we're collecting the latest information from residential construction. We bring in federal, provincial, municipal information on policy changes and regulations, but we also do a lot of monitoring on trends of what consumers are looking at. So we're a hub of industry information that's very valuable to a small business. But also, because of the range of businesses that we have within our membership, it's an excellent networking opportunity.
Right.
So as a small business, you're sitting around the table with, other like-minded businesses, and you become very familiar then that the challenges that I'm facing are the same challenges that you might be facing.
Right.
So it's a great place to receive information, to network, and also understand how you can get better leads. So how to improve your business. At the Canadian Home Builders Association, we do a wide variety. We advocate, we educate, we professionalize. There's a whole mix. So every individual industry organization has it specific to the industry. So I think that's probably, it really is what you want to get out of it, is what you'll retrieve from it. So we really try to work with our members on what is it that you want. Just signing a membership application, paying the fee is not going to lead. You really have to understand what you're getting into and communicate with that organization and find out what's the best fit.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I think that's a really good point too, because I know even with myself, when I've been looking at different associations to get involved with, of course you want to know what they're going to do for you, but a lot of it is, I guess, reaching out and proactively working with the association to meet people, to put yourself out there, to get more involved.
And the ones that have been the most successful have made the association a way of their business.
Right.
So they use the brand, the Canadian Homebuilders Association brand. They use the information for their interaction with their customers, but they also use it to help improve their business practices, certification. So but you really have to, really go in and have those conversations, talk with other members, and really get to know the association before you really understand that true value.
Yeah, and I think that's a good point too. So we're going to talk about, I guess, how to choose one. But something that I often do is, when I'm evaluating whether an association is going to be a good fit, is going to a couple events and getting a feel for the people there and what it's all about.
That's right. That's right. Absolutely. So whether it be a personal, professional industry association or a business industry association, you really have to get to know what it is and learn a little bit more about it. Yeah, that's where you're going to find the value.
Yeah, absolutely. So I see we have Beth is watching, and Ronalda and John. Hello. If you have a question for Victoria, go ahead and ask in the comments, and we'd love if you could share this with your own Facebook friends. So I guess getting a little bit more in depth into associations and boards as well. How do you figure out whether an association or board is going to be a good fit for you?
Right. So, like you just said, going to events and, all kinds of associations. They have luncheons, they have lunch and learns, they have networking sessions. And go and get to know the association and find out what it is that they're offering. And I would start with, the baseline is a community, or not a community, I'm sorry. Well, it is a community, but it's more of the committees, the committee structure. Right. And that's all, in some cases, that's step one to get involved with an organization. From being just a participant and receiving information, but actually getting into an organization and helping that organization move forward. It's the committee structure. So with our association, we have, oh my goodness, there's about seven committees that we have, and the one that is most beneficial for the builders and the sub-trades is our technical research committee, because the dynamics of sitting around that table with municipalities, people who are building regulations and going by the codes, we have the businesses sitting right there and they're doing the hands-on. So that's a very it's almost a competitive to get on that committee, because there's such a melting pot of discussions and brainstorming. Finding that fit for you within an association can be truly, truly valuable. The next step would be at a board level, and that's getting further up into the governance structure of an organization. And that's where, as a CEO, we want to find people who are interested and have a passion and are thinking probably a little bit bigger than just their business. They want to change and improve and have more of an influence on the work that they do. So it's not just personal, it's broader.
Yeah, and I think that's a good point too, because if you join something and you're not really fully into it or fully committed to it, then it can just be a waste of your time unless you're going to put that effort into it.
And you don't have to know a lot about board governance or how. Like, some people get intimidated when they say, well, I don't want to do that because I don't know how to do it. These non-for-profit industry organizations, that's okay, because that's why we're there to help guide the process along, and there's policies in place. The first is just to identify whether or not you want to do it. And if you want to do it, start talking to other committee members or board members. And it's not a scary place, because when you have a group of people sitting around the board that really are inspired to do good things, it's truly inspiring to watch a board grow and an individual board member move up into a leadership role. It is great. It is wonderful to see that. And the personal development that happens with those individuals. It's really, really great.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So Ronaldo had a good question that I think is relevant to this, so we will go ahead and talk about that. So Ronaldo says, memberships can be expensive. What's the best way to determine the value or what you're getting for that
That's
investment?
an excellent question, because is the value truly just a dollar value? That's one thing that, as our organization over the last couple of years, we've been talking about that. We want to put a dollar value on it because it's a lot of money to join these organizations, and it's a commitment for that 1 year. In some cases, it might be more than 1 year. You might be paying just like half of this year and into next year sometimes with membership associations. So it's a good question to ask the organization, what's the value? And the value is going to be different for different people.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So if somebody's just coming in and looking for business, you should probably, or the individual should look at, okay, so are they doing advertising for us? And are there group rates? Is that financial commitment going to be a benefit for us? Our organization, we have a membership, a consumer directory where all the members are promoted. And we have our website, and we're constantly out promoting our members and our online member directory. And once individuals get known within the organization, they do get leads and they do get business. It does eventually evolve. But a membership, paying that fee is not like pressing a button. It's not an automatic. It's going to come with time, and sometimes it may not pay off in 1 year. In the true dollar sense, it may help build capacity within you, and then it might start paying off. But it's what you want to get out of it and what you see in it.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. And I think before we move on to some of the more marketing stuff, I think it'd be good to kind of recap everything there. So I guess as far as the benefits, of course, you have credibility, you have networking, having access to that membership, the resources, both from the executive and the committees, as well as that peer-to-peer information.
Absolutely.
I guess.
Well said.
And as far as determining a fit, definitely attending events and getting a feel for it before you commit to it. Checking out what their committee structure is and how you can get involved. And I guess asking what are the benefits and what value does that association provide. And I guess on that note too, my personal approach whenever I join an association, I've been pretty choosy about what ones I'll get involved in. I think you can really only do so many to really like give it your best effort. So for me, I always ask a lot of the association too. Like I will give a lot, but I'll ask like, how can I access your network? Are there any marketing opportunities with that association? Can I put something on your website, or can social media or email, or can you introduce me to certain people? I think you have to be pretty proactive about it to really make sure that you're getting the value.
Absolutely. And some organizations offer mentoring for new members, and so that's very valuable. So coming in, you're not going to know everybody sitting around the table. One thing that we do at our luncheons, and you've seen this, and it doesn't matter if there's 120 people in the room or 30 people in the room, everybody gets an opportunity, and we make everybody stand up and say who they are and what business they're with. Because if you don't know who's in the room, they don't know if you're in the room. And we've gotten so much great feedback. It's very traditional. We've been around for over 60 years, and I'm sure they've been doing it since day one. But it's really valuable. And then if there's a new member, we get them to come, we congratulate them, get them to stand up. And I know the Board of Trade does that as well. But we actually make everybody stand up. And I'm Victoria Belbin, I'm the CEO. Or if it's one of our board members, or if it's a new member. And people are shy. It's hard. We still have name tags. But if you're coming to a luncheon and you want to meet 3 key people, you have the opportunity at the beginning of that meeting to write down, and you know exactly where they're sitting, that you know what they look like.
Yeah.
And then it's easier to get up and go over and say, hey, my name is.
Yeah. And I found that especially beneficial for me because I'm not a home builder. So when I joined the association and would go to luncheons, I'd be like, oh, this is, now I know who people are.
Right.
And even I like that you guys do a monthly luncheon, and I will always purposely sit at a table where I don't know anybody, or maybe I know like one person.
Right.
Yeah.
And we try to break people up too. You know, we just don't want one company coming and taking over a table. Like, spread out, guys, because you're not doing yourself any favors. Get out there. But it's a great opportunity just to, and you know, myself and other executive directors or CEOs will stand with you and say, okay, this is this person, and who do you want to meet? What's your target? And I'll help you with that connection. Like, I'll help introduce you.
Yeah.
You're going to take it because I don't know your business.
Yeah.
But we really try to do that.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, let's just check in here if anybody has. Oh, we've got some questions on here. Excellent. So Melissa's watching. Hi, Melissa and Krista. And Ronnie said, good point about the payoff in 1 year. Anything worth investing in takes a bit of time for growth. Point, Absolutely. Josh, hello. And Mike. And Mike asks, Mike says he's missing out. Mike tunes in every week.
Oh, hi,
Mike. So that's always great to see. And he said he'd catch the replay later. Yeah.
Nice.
Great. Nice. Okay. So what marketing methods have you seen that have been effective, I guess, for the Homebuilders Association? Because you have to essentially market
the members and what we do. Absolutely. So we've really seen a transition over the last I've been there for 5 years, and we've been really traditional right at the beginning, but meeting people like you and understanding how consumers and our members are making choices. We've really shifted our marketing practices, and we're now probably shifting more into social media than we ever have before. So there is a need for both traditional and social media, depending on what you want to get out of it.
Yeah.
But social media marketing is so financially beneficial to organizations like us because we really want to make an impact. Right. The example, if I could, we do the annual home show every year, and for 35 years we've been holding this big show with all of these exhibitors from the residential construction industry, and we put a lot of money into marketing. And we've got a big mix. We have the traditional paper media, radio, television, and I think it's about 3 years ago we shifted. This will be our 3rd year, I think, with Home Show doing more social media, and we're the first year it was a test. It was like a little pilot, and we put a little bit of money aside, and it was really interesting to see the results. But last year was amazing. We did have our little tiny house that we were building at Home Show, and Crystal has been working with us, and we saw an increase in visitors at the Home Show in a challenging market. We increased our numbers by 20%, and we really truly attribute that to the social media marketing campaign that we put in, and it was phenomenal. So Home Show is coming up in April, and stay tuned because there's going to be a lot of social media marketing on that Home Show. But you have to make sure it's the right fit, because we've tested we've tested different ways to get the messaging out. You're still going to get people through traditional media. You're not able to track it as well. But there's still people that rely on traditional media, and they still, people are still listening to the radio and still watching TV and reading the newspaper, just doing it in different forms. So that has truly worked for us with the Home Show, and a great success. And we've shared it with our associations right across Canada, and it's, I have to say, it's been pretty successful in comparison to some of the shows.
Excellent. Yeah, and I think that's a good point too, that it all goes back to knowing your audience. So that homeowners, it's a pretty broad range, so you do have to use a mix of different marketing methods in order to attract those people.
Yeah. And we've done evaluations on the home show floor, so we know who that target person is.
Yeah.
And so then knowing which outlets, and that's through the work that you've been doing with us, knowing who we want to target, how to get access to them, and we found the avenues to do it, and it truly proved to be very, very successful.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Love that.
Thanks.
All right, we've got a few more questions. This
goodness.
is great.
Yep.
Ronnie asks, how do you keep your monthly luncheons relevant, interesting, and well attended? That's a really good question.
We struggle on this one. It's tough. So we keep our goal, our membership, our builders, renovators, contractors, anything relevant to new home construction and renovation. That's it. And we all the time are trying to figure out who's out there, who can we bring in to speak, and it's a real struggle.
Yeah.
So we have our speaker at our luncheon. We have our networking, but we also do our association business.
Absolutely.
So you're getting an update from me, you're getting an update from our president, and that's really relevant information. So there's almost three major components of our luncheons, and it's getting the messaging out to our membership, and we do get non-members, and we do a lot of recruitment too at our luncheons. So it's a challenge. Not everybody has the answers to who's next, and sometimes it just happens, and sometimes we're like in the office going like, what are we going to get for that luncheon? Yeah. But it does work for us. Yeah. So our next luncheon is on the 17th of January, and we've got Stantec coming to talk about the Northeast Avalon regional plan, and that's really relevant to how housing is going to, and how transportation. So one of those things. It just kind of happens. Yeah. But it's a difficult thing, and we're constantly looking for speakers and how to make it relevant. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, and I know for me as kind of someone who's outside of the industry, but a member, it's been very valuable in getting like a broader sense of what's going on and what issues are affecting the membership, and that's something that I don't think I would really fully grasp otherwise.
But you get to know what's relevant to our members, so that when you're seeking them as a client, you know what's relevant to them, and you know what services and how to provide your service to them. So that's how we try to maneuver this whole machine forward.
Absolutely. Sorry, Ronnie, your question got cut off a bit. So I'm going to ask the next one, and then I'll come back to that if I can get it to come up. Sorry.
Yeah, this is a good one.
So I guess how we've talked a little bit about marketing for CHBA and I guess for home builders overall. How do you think that the average consumer is using social media when it comes to new homes and renovations?
Okay, so the shift has happened in the last decade on consumers, and consumers are so much more aware because they're on Facebook and they're on, they can Google anything and get all kinds of information. It may not be the right information, but it's there. And of course, HGTV effect. The Home and Garden Network has totally thrown this industry into deliver now, and they want so there's a lot of education that has to happen when our individuals then start working with consumers. So the consumer today is so much more aware. Everything's at their fingertips, and it is a bit of a challenge for our builders and our renovators to kind of work with the consumer to make sure that they understand if this is how much you have, this is what you're going to get for your money. So the expectations, managing those expectations is a bit of a challenge. But for our companies are not traditionally on social media, and that's one of those things that is definitely an opportunity for our members to get more involved with social media so that they understand how they can get that information to the consumer, much more relevant information to the consumer.
Yeah, absolutely. And Ronnie, I'm going to try to pull up your question here. Okay, so she said, we, Nine Island Production, had the pleasure of producing a series of videos for you a few years ago on home energy efficiency. how important do you see video marketing in overall marketing strategy? And what advice would you give others association thinking about video marketing? That's a great question because video, I mean, I think it comes up in every episode that I do, which is on video. But I've definitely seen like a real uptake in video marketing, and people love video content. Yeah, so I guess how do you think video marketing plays into?
Well, so the project, is it Ronaldo? Yes, that she's talking about. We did a series of videos on energy efficiency, and you can find them on our YouTube channel, a CHBA-NL YouTube channel, and there were fantastic videos. It was a partnership with Natural Resources Canada and CHBA-NL, and it kind of leads the homeowner through just the basics of energy efficiency, what they can do right now with energy efficiency in their homes, and then building it up to and what are the dynamics of an R2000 home, a very energy efficient home. So it's definitely worth, and they're English and French because it was a project with the federal government. They're in English and in French. They're a great resource. And we used our board members and Nine Island Productions to produce them for us, and they were great. So that getting that information out, you're absolutely right. You know, we're sitting at home with our devices on our lap and we want to know how to do something, or if we're looking at it's video. And it's a very effective way of getting information to consumers. So the more that we can get involved in just doing this alone, this is our second time doing something, we're beginning to realize how important it is to getting our message out, and consumers are they're ready for it. They're just ready for it.
Absolutely. Great question. Thank you. So to, I guess, kind of clue up, and if anybody else has a question, be sure to put it in. I'll make sure Victoria sees it, even if we're not live anymore. What do you think home builders need to do to grow their business and for their business to really thrive in 2017?
So there's a lot of challenges this year. This has been a tough year on our industry, not only with our provincial economy, 2% HST, mortgage rules. It's been a bit of a hard time. So we've been saying this for a long time. Diversify. Diversify what you're doing. Look at where the market is going. And I wrote some notes down. Build your network. Understand who your consumer is and your reputation and referral system, that you have that informal referral system, is gold in this day and age. It really is. There's a lot of competition going on. Because of the change in the economy, there's a lot of individuals out there operating in the underground economy. And consumers out there, be aware, get your project in writing and make sure you're dealing with a professional. So our businesses are really challenged. So diversify, understand who your key target is, and go back to your network, whether they're industry people or past customers. We have businesses that are, working for second generation, third generation. And once you get into that referral process and get into that type of consumer, like a family or community or neighborhood, so valuable in a time like this. So, and understand the trends and try to get ahead of the market. What's coming around right now? First-time home buyers, seniors, and energy efficiency are top of mind to everybody right now. So those are the three key things that we're helping our businesses move forward with.
Excellent. And I do have to add on that just a little bit. I'm noticing a bit of what I find to be a weird trend in that, and not just home builders in particular, but I'm seeing a lot of businesses that aren't advertising. And I think or not marketing, like we'll say marketing overall. And I think when things are difficult and the economy is down, like that's the time that you really need to increase those things.
Absolutely.
And you can use social media and video and other channels to help with those referrals because you're popping up and people are like, oh yeah, I think they did a project for me, or I should give them a review, or all of those things that your marketing can facilitate that and help you bring in more.
Excellent point. It is very important.
Excellent.
Yeah.
All right. So how can we learn more about the Canadian Homebuilders Association?
Okay, so we're on Facebook, as you can probably tell. And our website is CHBA-NL.ca. You can call us at the office, 753-2000. We're on Twitter. So you track us down, and if you have any questions, and if there's any outstanding questions that you have, you can contact us through Facebook, and we'll do our best to get the information out.
Awesome.
We're not the experts, but we'll find the information for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, thank you so much.
This has been a lot of fun. Thank you.
Excellent. And thank you all for watching. I really appreciate it. I can't believe it's been, I think this might be my 12th episode.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
It's been fun. So thank you to all of you who have tuned in this year. And I'm excited to see you in 2017. So have a very Merry Christmas and see you soon.
Thank you, Crystal.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.